And the third point I wanted to mention concerns medical supplies. Israel has been preventing for quite some time now the entry into Gaza of certain types of medicine and equipment. So we've seen an ongoing shortage within the Palestinian healthcare system of medicine for cancer, for cystic fibrosis, for example, for epilepsy, as well as lacks in medical equipment such as X-ray machines, medical syringes and needles, supplies that are required to perform surgery and even childbirth. Now, I think what's interesting about the 3 points that I mentioned is that for all of them, there's the security concern in the background. Israel always talks about the security concerns. Now, security concerns are not only legitimate, but for us, I think, as Israeli citizens, are real. We would like to know that the security system and the security establishment does whatever they can to protect us. And screening people who want to exit Gaza for security reasons is not only justified. I think it's actually required. Yet, I think what's happening now is that a security argument is being applied and used in a wrong way. For example, I mentioned the hundreds of patients that are being prevented from accessing medical treatment outside of the Gaza Strip every month. In many cases, these patients are actually refused on security grounds. Okay, they're being told that you cannot exit Gaza because you either have an affiliation with Hamas, or you have a family member who is affiliated with Hamas, or any other security claim. However, when we, PHR, try and assist this patient, what we often see is that if we provide the Israelis with a medical expert opinion, saying, for example, this patient has to see a doctor, if this patient doesn't receive treatment, he will just die. It's an emergency case. Then all of a sudden, the security claim just collapses, and the patient is actually cleared and can actually access medical treatment. The same happens with other patients. At first, Israel says they can't get out of Gaza for security reasons, and then it turns out that the actual reason behind rejecting their application is in fact about the fact that they, for example, have families in the West Bank, and Israel fears that they may choose to actually stay with their families in the West Bank and not return to Gaza, which is a political reason coming from Israel's desire to actually separate the West Bank and Gaza, which is another political topic we can talk about. So for all of these cases, I think the joint message here is that security is not only legitimate, but it's crucial. But I think there is a clear need right now to distinguish between security and other humanitarian, medical, and ethical considerations that have to be taken into consideration. And as an answer, I think all of these phenomena which I just described should cause us to ask ourselves, is the fact that hundreds of patients can't receive treatment constitute a humanitarian crisis? I believe that the answer should be yes, to the extent that humanitarian crisis is not only about starvation, is not only about people being hungry, not being able to access food. I think the fact that people cannot access adequate medical treatment on time in many cases is in fact a problem, a severe, serious humanitarian problem that we must address.